oh my god, who is this 12-year-old in here? I'm actually 22. I look very young, which is awesome. I feel like I have the face of like a little boy who died in the Irish potato famine. But it's okay because I have the body of a prostitute that survived it. So I'm making art somehow. I look really young, and I know that I also kind of have the face of a young boy because when I was a child, the young boys used to make fun of me for it. When I was in middle school, I had a nickname. My nickname was Butters. All of the middle school boys called me Butters, and at the time I didn't know what that meant. They told me, I would ask, and they told me that it was after the character Butters from South Park, and I didn't watch South Park, so I watched an episode, and I was like, hey, he's like a sweet little blonde guy, that's definitely me. Turns out they called me that because they thought I had a butter face. As in, she's got a good body, butter face, and I was 12, so imagine what I looked like then. It was not as good as I that. But they used to also bully me for being on the academic bowl team. I was the only girl and the captain of our academic bowl team. And for that, they used to call me a slut, like, all the time. I don't know how those things correlate, because I feel like being the captain of the academic bowl is like the opposite of having sex, but I guess they don't see it that way. But it is what it is. I don't mind looking super young. It comes in handy sometimes. I'm the only one of my friends who can go to the restaurant and get gin and tonic and order out the quesadilla at the same time, so pretty convenient a lot of the time. It's usually not great though. One thing about looking young is that I don't get catcalled a lot, which is cool, but when I do get catcalled, it's a lot worse. It's a lot weirder. I was once waiting for the bus outside of an elementary school, and the police pulled up and they chastised me for playing hooky from the elementary school, and I said, I'm 18, and they drove away. And when they drove away, another man drove up to me and catcalled me. And I was like, oh my god, am I Hannah Montana? Because I'm in the best of both worlds. I don't even know. I'm crazy. It's come in handy a lot looking very young. I was once on the bus, and I saved somebody's life by looking really young. So I was sitting there, I was on a train, where was I? I was on a train, and a man pulled a knife on another man, and the man who was being threatened said, go ahead and stab me, and the man with the knife said, I will, and they were kind of arguing there. It was pretty clear neither of them wanted to be stabbed or stabbed, but it is what it is. And another man stood up while they were arguing, and he said, stop, there is a child on this train. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell them that I'm 19 years old. I'm just going to sit here in my sock monkey hat and let it happen. You know how when you're on public transportation, something's happening, and you're like, nothing's happening, and you just said that that's what I did. But the guy did leave, and I do like to say that I probably stayed with him. But because I look really young, I guess I'm very approachable. People talk to me a lot, and I wish they wouldn't. I once was told that I look lurable. And this is not a joke. An hour ago, I was at Target helping my friend pick out a pair of gym shorts. The man walked up to me and complimented my shirt, and then told me his name and shook my hand. And then he was like, what's your name? And I told him my name. And he said, you look like you're fresh out of high school. I was like, well, why are you talking to me right now? But it's okay, I got here, so we're all good. But last thing I want to say is that another time somebody came up to me and spoke to me when they should not have. I was at Build-A-Bear Workshop making a Build-A-Bear version of my dead dog, and I decided to put her bark in as the noise. So let me see her potty bark. I know, it's cute. And I was explaining this to the woman who was helping me, the woman who was working at the Build-A-Bear Workshop, and she was like, you know what your dog's bark sounds like? And I said, no, I don't. And she said, it sounds like a turtle having sex. And I said, okay. And she said, it sounds like a turtle having an orgasm. Have you ever heard that? And I said, no. And she would not stop talking to me about turtles having orgasms. She was like, don't worry, I have paintings of turtles having sex on my wall. And I was like, oh good, I was hoping. I started feeling a lot better. But I walked into Build-A-Bear Workshop that day, and we ended up having an unbearable conversation.